There were some points where I'm like, bro, why aren't you grabbing that health item right there?
I lost so many communities. It was unreal. So the first time I completed it, it's like, oh my god, we done it. You know, it's like, I can't believe it. It's actually happened. Telling the wife, I was like, right, you're just gonna have to put up with some noise. All right, I'm sorry. The walls are thin.
There's a little bit of screaming. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's one time. It's a big deal. It'll be all right. This goes to show like the YouTuber in you, right? Because I always go, oh, that's gonna make a good moment in the video.
Good clip.
Oh, that's gonna be a good point. That's gonna be a good. Oh, I can already imagine the high energy music going in the background now.
Hello, I'm Dustin, PolyInnovator. Today I'm talking with Jay Talbot. He is a gaming YouTuber, content creator, streamer, and self-proclaimed professional gamer. Thank you for joining me on the PolyTools Spotlight.
Someone's read my Twitter bio.
I was like, I stole that off there. It's like, I have to say that. That's fun.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. It's one of those things where we were talking before the call too. I really love State of Decay, and seeing your channel over the last year, especially the fact that it exploded too, I feel like makes me really happy for you, because it's one of those things where that game held a special place in my heart, because especially since I played the first one back when it came out a little bit.
Yeah.
And it was just one of those things where I was like, okay, State of Decay 2 did not get me when it first came out. And then
okay, that's interesting, because I first played State of Decay 1 when it first came out, and that didn't grab me. Yeah, so I was like, oh,
so you're kind of opposite.
Yeah, and then it was only like my mate was speaking about State of Decay 2. I think it was like a week or two before it came out, and he was like, oh yeah, I really want to play this. I want to, we make some content on it. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll check it out. And poof, I was like, yeah, this is the zombie game. You know what I mean? This is what a zombie game should be, especially in survival elements, the open world stuff. Yeah, it was and it's only just got better as well since released.
It's interesting that you didn't like the first one as much. I mean, the whole graphical interface was really weird, and there was tons and tons of bugs. But as they gave more updates, it became more fun. One of their DLCs ended up being kind of like the random mode, and that became the default in State of Decay 2. Ironically, I was kind of mixed on that. The other DLC I found to be really fun, Lifeline, where you're a whole bunch of soldiers, and it's a whole bunch of missions you have to do. I found myself kind of finding the little loopholes, like the zombie sieges will only ever happen at the end of the mission. So if you stayed outside of the ring of your base, you could start doing a whole bunch of stuff during the mission and kind of keep things going. Yeah, it's just fun.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just felt like the first one, it didn't really explain what was going on very well, and I was just like, I don't know what's going on. I'm not playing this anymore. But I did go back to it after playing State of Decay 2 again, especially more for when it's on the channel. So I did a full playthrough of State of Decay 1 on it's on YouTube as well.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I called that too. Well, and I've seen a lot of State of Decay 2 YouTubers, and I've seen that you do a lot of different kind of styles. And I mean, we haven't even got to the questions yet, because we just kind of, go straight into it. But it's interesting to think about as a topic. Every gaming channel generally has a game they prefer. State of Decay has a lot of really interesting ways of going about the creativity aspect.
Yeah, with what I love about State of Decay 2 from like a content side of things is you can make your own story as such. You know what I mean? It's quite open-ended in that way. It's procedurally generated characters. It's a different character every time. Yes, you do have the 4 main storylines, which are obviously always going to be the same, but obviously depend on your leader type or whatever. But other than that, it's very loose in how you tackle certain problems, and I just like a story. You know what I mean? So I just like making a story as I go, effectively. So from like I said, it's kind of content side of things. It's great.
I think I've seen some of that in your videos. When I made my series, I was trying to go after my first leader that I had a playthrough with was a sheriff. Okay, and so I tried to like make a story around her being a sheriff at the last law of the world. And I even went to the police station as my like base of operations. Which was funny. Nice, What got you started as a content creator, though? Because, I mean, you did State of Decay, but before that, did you do anything else?
So, before I was on this channel, Jay Talbot, I had another channel. It was called JTTV. Don't worry, you don't need to go watch it. Terrible. That was like sort of my first dipping your toe in, I suppose. I say dipping your toe in. I did it for years, and there's probably over 1,000 videos on there. But they were
Wow.
all like they're all terrible. In honestly, they're not very well edited. They're more quite raw, just gameplay and just cutting out crap, I guess, and going from there. But the early days, I would say basically I was never really like big on watching YouTube as such until I met my now wife,
Mm.
girlfriend at the time. She was watching a load of different YouTubers, like vloggers and stuff. And I'm like, why do you watch this? This is crap. And then she was like, well, there's loads of different stuff on there, so have a look. And I was like, well, I was into GTA 5 at the time, so I was like, okay, I'll have a
Mm.
little look GTA 5. Started watching some GTA 5 content creators, so like Ollie43. There was Achievement Hunter. I'm trying to think. There was probably loads, and I was like, you know what, this actually looks fun. I'm gonna give it a go. So bought myself an Elgato, plugged it into my computer, and bish bash bosh, there we are. So like I said, started with GTA, did a bit of Minecraft as well, but to be honest, I have no idea what I'm doing on Minecraft. I've still to this day never completed a full Minecraft run. You know what I mean? You just get distracted
Yeah.
building stuff. And what else did I do then? Oh, Watch Dogs 2 was the big game on JTTV. I think again that was mainly because nobody else was playing it. So there was like a small audience who wanted to watch Watch Dogs content, and I filled that gap, I suppose. And I still to this day love Watch Dogs 2. It was probably one of the last Ubisoft games which was good, I want to say.
I saw the fact that like on your current channel you had a variety of different games on there too, and it's one of those things where I find a lot of times people start off kind of wide and then find one they like, and then maybe they go back wide to kind of experiment again when they get bored. First off, too, congrats on the marriage. I think the last time I had seen one of your contents, you said girlfriend. I didn't realize that you guys. So congrats.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah. We've just over a year now. February.
It's one of those things too where you saw that niche of like Watchdog content, for example. I saw the same with State of Decay last year, where it was like there was like Get Good Fox. And that's pretty much the only one I could think of when it comes to like State of Decay YouTube. I mean, you were obviously around too, but I think it was a little bit after around the time we both started. And just seeing a lot of the State of Decay content come out of the woodworks, like a few different channels came up. I'm really glad that this community is getting bigger too, especially now that State of Decay 3 is around the corner.
Oh yeah,
just finding that niche.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of like, just need to like just fill a little gap and see what happens from there.
You were right too. Like it is one of the best like zombie survival games. Obviously, this is not a gaming channel; it's a content creator channel. But we're talking about the gaming as a niche, and the specific game you choose as a niche too.
Yeah, and
how you make your gaming channel is a big deal. What was going through your mind when you first decided to go through State of Decay?
Well, originally I wasn't. The plan wasn't to do a State of Decay channel. It was just like make gaming videos and see what happens. And like you said, there was a lot of variety, especially around the beginning. I try like a different game, and basically I was doing like a different game every week, so it wasn't really like a series sort of thing. And it just felt a bit empty almost, and it's almost felt a bit pointless, if that makes sense. It's like, okay, yeah, I can make a semi-funny 10 to 12 minute video or whatever, but I don't know. I like the idea of a series, of a story where you start watching one, you go, oh, okay, yeah, I'm going to watch the next one and the next one and the next one. And I think once I made the first State of Decay 2 video, lots of people liked it. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll do another one. And then that did well as well. I was like, okay, I'll do another one. And again, it just snowballs effectively. What was funny is I think I made 2 or 3 just regular standard zone State of Decay videos, and I had one comment, and he was like, "Oh yeah, this was really good. I think you should. I'd be really interested in seeing you try Lethal Zone." And I was like, "Okay." And again, I hadn't watched anything as Lethal Zone at that point, and I was like, "That's just the big difficulty. How hard could it be?" So next recording session, I was like, "Yeah, we'll have a go." Just whacked it up. It resets the map. And my usual recording sort of time was up between an hour to an hour and a half. Occasionally it went over to like 2-hour mark, but that was quite rare. I spoiler alert, community wiped in about 50 minutes. And I was like,
took that long?
Yeah, I know. Oh, trust me, I was clinging on right at the end. What's going on? No. Oh, but yeah.
Well, I remember you saying at one point in one of your videos, I think you just jumped, like you said, straight from standard to lethal.
Yeah.
And that's going from level, for people who don't know, it's going from level 2 to level 5. And it's every level is a pretty big jump.
Oh, yeah. I found that out as well. But I've realized, you know what? Lethal's not for me. I went back to standard, completed standard, went to dread, lost a lot of people, but completed it. Nightmare, lost a lot of people, but completed it. Got to lethal zone, and then finally completed it. Again, still lost a lot of people, but that's all part of the fun. That's what makes it a good experience as well, because it's like permadeath. It's your choices matter. It's not a case of I just respawn. It doesn't matter. Your choices actually mean something, and when a character dies, it does actually hurt, I guess, in a way. It's like, no, I was attached to that. You don't want to
losing my arm.
Something. Yeah, exactly.
It's like you're losing one of your favorite people, and especially if you have somebody you've spent a lot of time training and making them really strong.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you spend a lot of just training them up, and especially if they got good loot on them as well, and then they just disappear because zombies just wander off, and then you got to try and find them.
So let me ask you this too, because as a lethal zone player myself, it's one of those things where I've had experiences where my character would die and I can go recover their stuff. And there's other situations where they die and they just disappear. And it didn't matter if they were in plague zone or unplague zone.
No, I think it matters how they die. So, for example, if you were just dead, like you just run out of life effectively, I think they'll still be there. But if they turn into a zombie, then they'll reanimate and they'll wander off. That's why you can't find them. But it's quite funny. You can find them then just the other side of the map randomly. It's quite funny. I like that.
I think that's why I lost one of them, because one of them was on the other side of the map.
Yeah. Oh god.
So one thing that you kind of went over earlier too is the beginning of your channel, and I think that's kind of a good lesson for a lot of new creators, is that a lot of the big creators say you need to put in your first 100 reps, and you had done, like you said, like 1,000 reps on a different channel, different endeavor. So you got your practice in, but there's also a matter of like, what do you want to go into, that kind of thing. And so there's an experimental stage, both for getting your reps, but also feeling what you want to do. And I feel like you did both. Like you had that first stage where you did hold reps, learn the skill, learn what you wanted to do a little bit more. But then you kind of decide like what particular path I want to do. And that's what you kind of started on this channel. And I think that's really interesting for a lot of creators to learn from.
You need to know the basics, I suppose, around, an editing software of what sort, but it's about like the pacing of the video as well. You can't just because originally when I was on the old channel, it would just be a case of, okay, well, I'll just hit the record and then I stop it in 20 minutes, trim, the fat off the either end and just upload a video. But it's just not good, effectively. You know what I mean? It's you need a bit more finesse, maybe would be a better word for it. Like a goal going into the record. If you go for an hour, you should be able to get 10 minutes out of it, a good 10 minutes anyway. And then obviously if you go longer, and that's the general rule I get. I usually get about a good 10 minutes from an hour, I'd say.
That's interesting, because I wonder if it comes down to either pickiness or just knowledge. Like, okay, like once you get to a certain level, you realize that's only really 10 good minutes, or if like maybe 20 minutes of it is pretty good. But if it's like you're very entertaining, like if I watch your videos, you're laughing, you're making jokes, like the ferals jumping after you, so your butt's clenched, and you're like, ah.
Yeah. That's not. I don't know. It's not really like it's not put on or anything. It's just I don't know. Just I just want to not die right now.
It's because I look
like a knob,
Yeah. On my controllers, I've broken 2 of the L buttons for the running.
Yeah. Oh no.
I'm so tense. I'm like pushing it down so hard it snaps the plastic piece on the inside.
That's not good. That's not good.
I repaired it. It's fine.
Oh,
it's just one of those things like that game will stress you out.
Yeah, it can. Definitely. Especially like you said, if you're playing Lethal Zone and you get just a triple pack of ferals coming after you, you're like, oh, right, I just need something to climb onto to catch my breath.
And also too, some like we talked about earlier, some of the recent updates have made it harder. Like I've definitely noticed an increase of like normal zombies too.
Oh yeah, and like if you play on the PC as well, you can get mods to really increase your the spawn rate. It can get bloody crazy. Honestly, it's
I've seen you go kind of crazy with them too. Like you're doing what I thought was really interesting. You I think that was kind of unique to your channel, was that you modified all your characters to be as weak as possible and using that community. That was an interesting idea.
Yeah, that's probably one of my favorite series actually. So I'm glad you liked that. It was interesting because usually I use like some quite powerful characters. I suppose I usually like specialize in the red talon side of things. Yeah, exactly. Basically, I like if I can't snap aim to a feral's head, I'm screwed. Yeah, you know what I mean. I need that snap aim. Take out the feral, right? Then
mouse and keyboard. Oh, sorry,
I can't use a mouse and keyboard. I know I now play on PC, but I still can't use a mouse and keyboard. Don't worry, I can aim with the mouse. Obviously, it's the keyboard issue. That's my problem. The WSAD. You know, I'm like, just give me an analog stick. Why can't if I could have
What?
one of both?
Well, I've done that actually. Like
Oh
I did
yeah.
that with Fallout 3 at one point, not with State of Decay, and I wonder if it might just need to come down to using like a mod, like using some kind of way to translate a controller to keyboard inputs. So I've done that with some controllers too. I had a really cool motion controller back in the day that I wanted
All
to
right. Yeah.
use.
Cool.
And the only way I could use it was just to match everything to keyboard keys.
Oh, there you go.
You're mainly a video creator, but do you think you would ever kind of expand into more written content or audio content as well?
I mean, I've got no plans to, but never say never, I guess. Because, like, you say audio, and I'm like, well, I can't sing. Definitely can't sing. I can't do anything musically at all. You know what I mean? That's why all my videos have the same music in. It's just like, right, boom, that's easy. I can't edit the music. I suck with that. But I don't know. Podcasts are always quite fun. I listen to a lot of podcasts, so I don't know. Never say never.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Who knows, maybe you'll do an interview like this down the line.
Yeah, maybe. You never know. I don't know about writing. Again, I'm not really much of I mean, I script the videos, you know.
I was going to ask about that, yeah.
Stuff, but only, you know, like the voiceover side of things. But it's not really like scripted. Scripted is more like bullet points and make sure you say this, then, and whatnot. It's not like a full on TV script or movie script or anything like that, you know.
I got a couple questions there then, because there's two approaches. Like people script not so much for gameplay videos. I'm thinking more like, you know, talking head videos, but they'll script the whole thing and they'll talk it out or line for line. Or they're more like you and I, where they do bullet points and like they just kind of talk off of those bullet points. Can you walk us through how you make a video? That'd be really helpful.
Yeah, so basically all of my, right now anyway, all of the stuff I edit and post is live streamed first. So I have I use OBS to, you know, to both stream and record. And I have a plugin called Source Record, so it'll record both the desktop and the camera as well, and it's like separated as well, so it's not like all just one flat footage. So I can control then where the face cam goes, if it's on, if it's not, if it's full screen, etc. Once that's recorded, obviously export it into your editing software. I use Final Cut Pro. Make everything look neat, so it'll probably be like a 2-hour timeline at that point, and then I'll just sit there, hit play, watch it, and go, right, cut out that bit. Right, okay, I'll write, you know, okay, funny joke here, blah, blah, right, voice record it, put that in, adjust it, and then do that for the next however long the video is going to be, sort of thing, you know?
I like that. It's different than what I'm expecting, or like what I'm expecting to do for my own channel too, no less.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, I think I need to do that, but like what I've done in the past, I just kind of recorded my voice during the actual video itself. That's not as good. It's not as entertaining. It's not always going to be highest quality.
Like I said, mine's recorded on the live stream as well. Do you know what I mean? So it's my live reaction is in it, but I don't use a lot of that these days. It's more of the voiceover and the post commentary style of things. But yeah, it's still.
I'm not saying
live reaction.
One is better than the other. I'm just saying like.
Yeah. I like a good little blend of the two, sort of thing. That was the idea anyway when I first started the channel.
The character.
It was funny
because the character of Jay Talbot.
The character, yeah. It was because the reason I say character is I had the idea of having like almost 3 characters in the. So it was like the live one, like is one person, then the voiceover is another, effectively, and then like the editor could be another one, but then like the editor and voiceover sort of just merged together, if you know what I mean. That's why quite often the voiceover will take the mick out of live reaction, effectively, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I've heard of some channels doing that. Like they'll have like the productive version of themselves and then the unproductive version of themselves, and they just kind of like play 2 characters on the video. And I feel like that's what you're trying to do, but since the voice sounded so similar, like you said, it just kind of
When I say character, I don't mean like you know, different voices or anything. Just a different, almost personality in some way. I guess it's almost like, so when you play in the game, first off, it's like sort of hot-headed and boom, 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 and then once you have a chance to watch the footage back, you go, "What the bloody hell are you doing there?" Right? That was stupid. So you know, you'd like take the mick out of it in that sort of way, you know.
I definitely watched back on my State of Decay footage, and I was like, "Oh, this is really dumb." Especially since I recorded it on like my 2nd or 3rd lethal playthrough too, so it's pretty early on.
Yeah.
And I had someone comment on one of my clips recently, like one of my shorts, and they're like, "That was the least effective way of taking out those ferrules possible." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, I was nervous. Okay, I had 3 ferrules on my tail."
Exactly, it happens, you know? It's like, it's at the end of the day, it's all about what's entertaining, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And,
I mean,
like,
hey, the comment helps me too.
there we go, exactly, exactly. More comments, the better.
Yeah.
Like, the first, like I said, that lethal video I mentioned earlier, the first time I went to it, that that was the first video which blew up, again, because it was a massive fail. People like watching fails, I guess. And, again, that got a lot of comments because the State of Decay community is class. And,
Mhm.
yeah, they were just giving loads and loads of feedback and, you know, do this, do this. Oh, when you get to the maybe don't do that this time, do this and stuff. So, again, that was a big part of what blew that video up and brought in a lot of eyes to the channel. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Mm.
I think I was probably I know I was following you at that point. I wonder if I was one of the comments there at that time.
I'd go back and have a look.
Yeah. One of the things I was going to ask too. So we're talking about OBS plugins, and
Yeah.
this is something I'm kind of exploring myself too, because I've used OBS to record for a long time, but not really for streaming. And there's the ATEM's vertical plugin by Harris Heller too,
Okay.
and that's a really interesting one. So you have like a vertical canvas alongside your horizontal one. And it makes me think about streaming because YouTube Shorts now has that streaming feature.
Yeah.
And I was going through my shorts and I kept seeing these PolyTubers streaming to horizontal and vertical at the same time.
Wow, okay.
And they're using, like, I think Streamlabs has it built in too, but regardless of which one you use, I think that's really fascinating idea. Like, what do you think? Do you think you would ever try that?
It's something I've always been interested in trying. I've just never got around to actually looking into how it works and stuff, you know. Because again, it's same for like TikTok. You could do TikTok live on it as well, and like multi-stream or whatever, you know. But again, I just never got around to it effectively. I think I will at some point, but we'll see.
Maybe you and I could talk about it because like it'd be good to soundboard anyways. Because I want to stream to Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts at the same time.
Yeah.
And YouTube too at the same time.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it works in terms of like I think you need to like be able to stream multiple keys at the same time or something. I haven't really looked into it, so I don't know if it would work. Be able to stream. I think you'd be all right streaming to both YouTube because it'd probably be the same, but like be able to stream to YouTube and TikTok as well. I don't know, but
there's multi-stream tools, but it's just
there's loads of ways around things.
Speaking of tools, one question I like asking on the show is what you mentioned Final Cut and OBS, but what tools do you like to use?
So effectively, that's really it. I'd say. I'm just looking at my desktop now, thinking,
Well, what about physical tools too? Then
I mean, I haven't got an axe. You know,
you got an axe?
No, you don't need an axe for editing a YouTube video. To be honest, there's not really. Obviously, I got a game controller, headset, keyboard, and mouse. It's nothing too fancy, really. I mean, unless you class a PC, of course. But yeah.
Well, I mean, like, this is a creator channel, so we're all nerds about cameras and microphones and capture cards. So I don't know if you wanted to share that kind of stuff too.
Well, webcam, I've got the Elgato face cam. The microphone is a Blue Yeti, I want to say. I've had this this microphone actually, believe it or not, probably over 8 years now. It's probably coming to the point where I need to think about upgrading it.
I had probably this. I think it's a normal 2012 one, right? The round one.
Yeah.
One looks like a missile.
You see it there.
I have the newer version I got here. I'm not sure how much I like better. I think this one's a lot lighter and it has better software, but I think the other one is just like old and true.
Yeah, that's fair. What else have I got? Oh, I mean, I do have a capture card, but now I'm playing on PC mainly, so I don't really need it as such. What else?
Do you think you would ever do the dual PC setup? Sorry.
Yeah, at some point maybe. I mean, you need a lot more money for that. That's the only thing. Yeah. I don't know. What's the benefit then? I guess because you'd have just power from one to play the game and power the other stream it then.
Basically, yeah. And that way you don't have to use any of your RAM or CPU power for the streaming, and you can just put it all to the game. I remember like State of Decay could be kind of demanding at times. I mean, maybe it's because my PC's a bit older, but I don't know.
I say I've only really noticed issues when I've like modded it effectively, or you know, if
you put every zombie as a juggernaut, I would imagine.
Yeah, that's actually that one actually wasn't that bad. I'm trying to think. Probably the insane population was probably the most demanding. Like that was a lot of frames being lost there, you know.
I was watching one of your videos recently, and it was basically you were trying to take out this play card, and there was, I don't know, 40 zombies on screen, and you were telling chat how the frames were dipping. You were kind of like exclaiming, like, I don't know if you guys can see this, but it's dipping
Yeah, I
hard.
was like, I'm always like, on my end, it's showing. I don't know how
Yeah.
it translates across. 'Cause again, I think I'll get a higher frame rate from my point of view to what I'm actually
Mhm.
streaming, because I think I only stream in 30. Oh, actually, I'm not too sure. I can't even remember
Yeah.
my own settings because it's so long. You set it all up and you just go right,
Yeah.
press play, and just hope it works. Only looking on when something goes wrong.
Can you share your favorite story that's happened to you as a content creator?
Ooh. I suppose the best thing was probably getting invited onto the State of Decay dev stream. That was a big moment. That was a lot of fun.
Awesome.
So basically well, actually they were already following me on Twitter. They just slid into the DMs a few months after and just got talking and invited me
Mhm.
on. I was like, absolutely. When do you need me? I will be there. What's that?
Take money.
It's 11 o'clock my time. No worries. Don't worry. I was telling the wife, I was like, right, you're just gonna have to put up with some noise. All right. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. The walls are
If there's
thin.
a little bit of screaming, I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's one time. It's a big deal. It'll be all right.
I actually have another question like that.
Okay.
It's specific to this show, actually, because what was your favorite moment in State of Decay that's happened to you?
Ooh, maybe the first time completing Lethal Zone.
Hmm.
I think that would probably be quite first because, like, I once after I'd done that video where I failed, and then I was doing like standard nightmare, standard dread nightmare, then lethal. I was also streaming Lethal Zone as well, and it wasn't like being made into a video. It was basically just streaming for whoever wanted to watch it effectively, and we go from there. But I lost so many communities. It was unreal. So the first time I completed it, it's like, oh my god, we done it. You know what I mean? It's like, I can't believe it. It's actually happened. So I'd say, yeah, maybe that or the solo survivor run, the first solo
Mhm.
survivor run I did. That was also a big moment because I was like, oh, this was sort of like a very off. I didn't really plan anything. I just had the idea like 2 days before, and I was like, huh, that could work. Let's try it. And then jumped
Yeah.
on the stream. And at the time, like, I've definitely got a lot better at the game. I still wouldn't say, as much as I pretend I'm like amazing at the game and stuff, it's spoiler alert, it's a bit of a front. I know
It's
I'm
all
not that
editing.
good. I was even worse back then. So everybody in chat were like, this ain't gonna happen. He's not gonna be able to do it. And I'll be honest, I didn't think I was gonna be able to do it either. But it was like, it'll make a good video provided I can last, an hour or two. I'll be fine. And then 1 hour turns to two turns to 2.5, and I'm like, well, you know what? I could actually do this year.
Yeah.
Then I get to the 3 hour mark. I'm like, I've only got like 10 hearts left. And I'm in decent shape here. This could work. And then I did it
I'm pretty
effectively.
sure you were on Providence Ridge, right?
Yeah.
I think I
Problems.
remember that.
Mm.
Because I remember watching some of your early videos, and not to call you out, but there were some points where I'm like, bro, why aren't you grabbing that health item right there? Something like that.
Probably. I mean, to be fair, it depends when it is because
Yeah.
that one, for example, was quite stressful. It was like,
Oh, yeah,
right,
you're by yourself, yeah.
so, you only have like so many pockets as well, so you got to
Yeah.
like, right, what do I need right now?
Mhm.
Because I'm not going from where I am now all the way back across the map to back to base. Especially with Providence, it's the start
Oh,
base is right in the corner, So if you, there's a
going up
lot of
that hill.
traveling, at least with like Drucker, for example, that's quite centralized. I know
Mhm.
that's probably a bad example because you can't really go off road in Drucker, but um, it's a
Oh, I
centralized
do.
base. Yeah, I do as well. It's not a good idea, but
My car
I
flips
still
8
do it.
times. I'm like, it's fine.
Yeah. Go through toolkits like the Tic Tacs, like, yeah.
Don't get me started. I'll send you the clip actually after this call because
Oh
it's
yeah.
I have a clip that's just fantastic about that. Well, I was gonna say the logistics on a solo run like that, I bet are really frustrating, especially since
Mm,
I'm really bad about bringing enough cures and health items when I
mm.
go like out to I'll take out a play card, and then you like once you take out one, you're like, oh, let's take out another one,
Oh, it's
and
addictive. Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm here though, and it's like it's just
right there.
there. And even though I am probably slightly more infected than I should be, I've got a
Mhm.
cure. It'll be fine. What's the worst that can happen?
And then you
Okay,
get
now I'm
double.
infected. Now, okay, now I'm dead. Yeah.
I had one situation where I finally made it back to an outpost with one of my guys, and all of a sudden, this feral comes out of nowhere, swipes me.
Oh,
I was literally about to die from plague. I was about
yeah.
to get my cure. One little swipe, instant kill.
Oh, yeah, that's not good.
Um,
That's not good. I mean, go back to your earlier question about favorite moments. This was one that stream chat would never let me live down. I got infected and managed to rush back to my outpost in time. And I was perfectly fine because I think I might have had landmines active or something like that. But I got back, grabbed my cure, and I was like, oh, fine now with like 30 seconds left. I'm loving life. Nothing can stop me now. I just started chatting. And the plan was you get to 2 seconds, you jab it in, you get saved. I don't know if you've had there's like a bug where you jab it and it doesn't actually do anything. You got to do it twice. I
mm.
think they might have fixed it because it was a while ago. And I did it. He pulled it out and then he died. And I was like, oh, shit. What have I done now? What did I do
Yeah.
that for? You know?
I remember one of my episodes, I literally went across the map because I didn't have anything. I didn't have enough influence to make a new outpost, and there was too many play cards. And I had to literally go. It was Meeker Valley, so it wasn't too big of a deal. But I went
Yeah.
all the way across the map, and I
Mm.
made it back to the base like with 10 seconds left to spare.
Oh, that's always a good
Ridiculous.
moment, though, isn't it? It's always a good moment when, and especially like this goes to show like the YouTuber in you, right? Because I always go,
Mhm.
"Oh, that's gonna make a good moment in the video."
It's a good clip.
Oh, that's gonna be a good point. That's gonna be a good. Oh, I can already
There were
imagine the high energy music going in the background now.
there was a few moments where I died to a zombie, and I just made a clip out of that. I was like, you know what,
Yeah,
this was funny, this was stupid. I'm gonna
yeah.
make a clip out of
Oh
that.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's got to be done.
Okay, so real quick. So we talked about tools, and one
Mm.
area of this channel is actually talking about content repurposing.
Okay.
And I've used a number of tools to make clips. What do you do to make clips, and like how do you frame it, that kind of thing?
So wouldn't say I use anything other than just the editing software I use, which is Final Cut Pro. I literally just start another project, and then I'll another project within the library, and I'll just watch the original project and go right, take that out, pop it into my my short project, I guess, which is the vertical format, and then
Mhm.
export that and upload. Go from there. I don't use like any like AI tools or stuff like that to like automatically chop your live stream up or anything like that. You know.
I'm wondering, since you have so much content, that like if you drop them into tools like Eclipse GG or Opus Clip or something like that, a lot of like Opus Clip is not meant for gaming, but I actually got a lot of State of Decay clips because there's so much chatting with
Okay.
your with your chatting and the
Yeah.
in-game chatting. There's enough chatting to make clips from that. But even just like Cross Clip, for example, by
All right.
Streamlabs,
Mm.
and like it can reframe it for you. So I always like having the
Okay.
map and the health
Mm.
items at a certain place,
Yeah.
and I just drop in my clip to there. It automatically reframes it, and
Mm.
it's like, oh,
Oh,
that's kind
okay.
of cool.
Yeah, that's cool. I say I've never really like I tried it one. I can't remember what the tool was, so
Mhm,
forgive me for that. But I was like, because the idea was, I was like, this was before I was using my live streams to make video content, and I
mhm.
was like, well, there's a lot of live stream stuff going out, and I want to build a like use that for short format, whether it's TikTok or Instagram or whatever. I'm already quite busy with editing everything
Yeah.
anyway, so I just want to like just go right, press a button and it be done. All the free versions anyway, where you could only put in like a certain amount of footage, and it
Mhm.
yeah, basically it did work out very well. So I was like, I'm not doing this. I'll just do it myself. Effectively,
That's fair.
I played about the
Every
workload.
tool is different.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think CrossClip has like a watermark or something like that, and it
Okay.
also
Yeah.
does limit you on like certain things. And
Mm.
yeah, I asked because I think you just have so much footage we could play with in order to find really cool clips. Since I always syndicate them too, so I do Instagram, TikTok,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
YouTube. I thought that was fun.
Mm.
But I guess another question I was going to ask too. Your channel is your name,
Yeah.
right? It's not State of Decay J or
Mm.
something like anything like that. So, do you think there's any games down the line that you're planning on maybe doing instead of State of Decay if you move on?
I suppose I don't know what they'll be effectively. Obviously, like State of Decay 3, whenever that comes out, but
Yeah,
that's
I was
obviously
just thinking that
within the State of Decay brand,
decade.
I guess. Yeah.
I was thinking timeline wise, it might be a few years down the line.
But yeah, I mean, whatever comes out, you know what I mean? If it grips me, I'll play it. I think there's something coming out in September. I forget what it is. It was I seen a trailer of it and I was like, oh, that could work. And also it sort of fits within the niche of the channel being zombies, you know. So I was like, oh, I'll have to go. I can't remember what it was, a Stalker, I want to say. It's like
Like Soccer 2, maybe?
yeah, I think that's it. I think it's like in Chernobyl. I want
Mhm.
to say yeah, that's it. I was like, oh, that could
Looks
work
really
quite
good.
well on the channel. And just to be like basic as possible, GTA 6 comes out, I'll probably make a GTA 6 video.
Yeah.
It'll do absolutely terrible because everybody and their nan will be making the same video. But yeah, I can't wait for
Well,
that
here's the
game as well.
difference. Like, that's one reason why I also wanted to have more gamers on this show, because
Mm,
there is a certain personality that gamer and streamers have to have. Like,
mm.
especially if you're a streamer, you have to keep people's attention. As
Mm.
I'm telling you, even though you know way more than me than that, I'm just saying, like, in general, like, you have to have that personality to keep people coming, and people still stick around for your personality. Even if it's GTA 6, they'll
Mm,
be like, okay, well, yeah, that guy has the same type of video as Jay has,
mm.
but Jay's cooler. I'm gonna watch him.
Well, maybe we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah,
It depends. It depends if the State of Decay audience want to see GTA content. Then yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Because
You
I
get a
mean,
mod.
I've done I've done GTA Online content in the past, and it's I've quite enjoyed the content. I mean,
Mhm.
GTA Online itself is terrible, but that's a different
It's a whole nother
different
bargain.
different kettle of fish altogether, right? But basically, the audience doesn't respond very well to it because it's not the content they subscribe for effectively.
Well, and I noticed you were doing like Project Zomboid, but with a State of Decay twist too recently.
Yeah, so they basically someone mentioned in a live stream that someone made a Mega Valley map in Project
Mhm.
Zomboid. And I was like, well, I'll just check that out. And yeah, streamed it the other day, and yeah, good fun. It was good. A lot of I don't know if you've played any Project Zomboid.
I've seen some videos, but I haven't
Yeah.
played it myself.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. It's one of those games. I love the game. It's great because you can just put a couple hours into it and it just flies by.
Mm,
Not so good for live stream, I'd say, just because it's quite slower paced. So you could stream it for like 3 or 4 hours and then still only get like a 10-minute video out of it. That's how like little happens in terms of like quality
yeah.
content, I guess, if that makes sense. But yeah, I do really like that game, and played on Amiga yesterday or the day before, whenever it was I was like, yeah, all right, I need this. I need petrol, or I need guns, or I need this. And I was like, I know where that is because I know Amiga
Yeah.
Valley very well.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where you learn these maps inside and out.
Oh yeah, big time.
It was funny because I actually went on your live stream when I saw that, and I tried leaving a comment, but for some reason the YouTube was glitching out on me, and
Oh really?
I couldn't comment at all. I couldn't see any comments. It was weird.
Oh really? Was that on the live stream, or was that on just a
On
video?
YouTube Live, yeah.
Oh okay, that's unusual.
Because it was right after we had talked or something like that. I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go say hi,"
Oh,
and then
oh that's
I
unusual. Yeah, I don't have anything turned on to like
no, I think it's just YouTube glitching,
Yeah,
but
probably. Yeah. Just blame YouTube. I do the same whenever a video performs well. YouTube must have been having a dodgy 5 minutes. Certainly not my problem.
again, this is kind of getting more into gaming instead of content creation, but I'm curious, what is your
Right.
favorite map on State of Decay?
Ooh, I always say the same thing, and that is my favorite map is the one I haven't played recently. So, however, I do always go back to Providence. Providence, I,
Interesting.
yeah, I don't know what it is. I like, as you drive down the east side of the map, and it's sort of like where they've chopped down all the trees, and it just sort of opens
Mhm.
up, and you see all of Sawyer's Crossing. I don't know what it is. I just quite like that
Hmm.
the view sort of thing,
Yeah.
and all the trees, and because it is quite a tree heavy map, I guess. I don't know. It just
Yeah.
reminds me of Wales.
Are you from Wales?
I am.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. It's interesting too because I think I don't remember what my first map was. It might have been Cascade Hills,
Okay,
and
yeah.
this is before Trumbull Valley had come
Mm,
out, and I had spent an egregious amount of time playing State of Decay 1 growing up because I was a teenager when it came out. I
yeah.
pre-ordered it, and I love Trumbull Valley, and I think it's probably one of my top 2 ones. But I think my main one would be Drucker County. I
Oh,
love
interesting.
just all the things you can do on there,
Mm,
and
okay.
especially since there's less obstructions in the road, I feel like, than some other maps. Other maps, you can't drive
Yeah,
very far
I
without.
wonder if they've done that purposely because to go off road is quite treacherous. I mean, you've got cliffs, you've got
Yeah.
rocks, and bloaters sleeping in bushes. Ugh. That's interesting. I'd say Druck is the one I played the least, in all
Mm.
honesty. In fact, I'm trying to think of a tie. I could probably count on one hand the amount of times I've actually completed the Drucker map. Hmm.
I feel like there's some of the most interesting bases on that map, and
Hmm.
like you said, you know where everything is.
Yeah.
I always try to get one of the artillery bases as soon as possible when I go on a map, shit
Yeah.
like that. And I feel like some of the maps have really weirdly located. I think it's either Cascade Hills or Providence Ridge, where it's like there's a tiny little artillery base on the west side of the map, and it's like hidden away and stuff like
Hmm.
that's annoying to get to.
Hmm.
But it's like, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, well, interestingly, I'll be playing Draka on my next stream, which will be Sunday.
8 p.m. No, that's new video. That's new video. Sorry.
6 p.m. 6 p.m.
I saw your banner change. It's like new videos 8 p.m.
Oh yeah, I should probably update that. That's been the same. That's been that way for since I started the channel, I think, and I
thought it was
I haven't
new.
uploaded at 8 p.m. forever. So yeah, I probably should update that.
I mean, that's another case of it's like, being a solo creator. Do you have anybody helping you like editing wise, or just you?
No, it's all just me. All just me.
Well, congrats to you for being so productive and doing a whole
Thank you.
bunch. I think that's before we end up wrapping up here. I feel like that's a good topic to kind of go into, like being a solo creator. There's different types of content. There's the short, long, the live, and most creators start out with one of them. They start out as a TikToker, and then they learn long form. They start out as a Twitch streamer, and they learn long or short, depending on what they're trying to do for marketing. And it's like, I want to ask you which one you started out from, but also, what do you think is next for you when it comes to growing?
Ooh, okay. So I started out videos, long form.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if you count 10, 12 minutes as long form, I suppose, that was definitely the start. And then you sort of branch off from there. So, it's like, I'll just take a 30-second clip from here and put it on TikTok. And, there's your short form content effectively. And then once built up a little bit of an audience, it's like, okay, I probably should start live streaming then. And then, you build up more of an audience from live stream as well. So it's like a snowball effectively. It's like, okay, I'll start this bit and then I'll do this bit and then I'll do this bit. And each one of them gathers his own pace, I guess.
I love that, especially since they all kind of feed into each other. And like I told you earlier, like live streaming is my weakness. And that's what I'm going to be starting next on my gaming channel.
Okay, yeah.
And like, there's probably ways of helping other new creators with that. I just figured by explaining the trifecta, it would just help people because you started from one. You're talking about how they all combine together, and I think that's helpful.
Yeah. So obviously, when you're making, I suppose the easiest way to do it right now is the way I'm currently doing it, which is if you're going to be recording content, you might as well be live streaming it. Might as well because it's. You might get people watching it anyway. Then just chop that down to our long form video, whether it's 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever. And then edit it down again. You might get that 20 minutes down to like 10 shorts effectively. And then you've used, say, a 2-hour live stream and you've got so many different things. You've obviously got the live stream, which is from the main video. And then you got the 10 shorts. And yeah, like we were on about earlier with repurposing content, that's the way to do it. You get the most bang for your buck, sort of thing.
And if you're already, like you said, if you're already doing it, you might as well,
exactly,
go as far as possible.
Yeah.
So, last question here: what do you have coming down the line that you're looking most forward to?
Ooh, so I mean, at the moment, I'm working on. So obviously, we were on about the solo survivor stuff earlier. At the moment, I'm working on a solo survivor run with all 5 maps with 1 survivor. So that's basically the next 3 weeks of content. Effectively, I've already done 2. In fact, actually, as we're recording, episode 2 went up a couple hours ago. So yeah, I'll be streaming episode 3 on Sunday. Yeah, that's what I've got for the next 3 weeks. Hopefully, it goes well. Hopefully, we do it and then move on to something else then.
I was gonna say when I saw the first one, at least, or saw a thumbnail at one point, I was like, "Oh, that's an interesting idea." Like it piqued my interest as a State of Decay fan and a fan of you.
That's
like,
good.
Like,
that's
okay,
good.
it's like,
I'm
cool.
glad.
Yeah.
Happy days.
Especially since I wish there was more maps. I wish there was like someone made a modded map or something like that.
Yeah, I know. I'm surprised they haven't, to be honest, because there's a very strong modding community for State of Decay. I don't know whether or not there's limitations on because the game's a bit older or whatnot, but I don't know. Or maybe it's just because the audience, as much as like the community is passionate, it's not as big as other games. So it's like, well, it's not going to get as many downloads or whatever, so no point making it.
Yeah. One thing before we wrap up, I actually want to ask a little bonus question. What's your favorite base in State of Decay 2? That's a hard one. So I was
that is a tough one. I suppose the easiest answer. See, you think of one and then you just think of another one, don't you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the farmland compound in Trumbull, it's like dead center of the map. You can do anything you want. It's got like 3 large outdoor slots, several small. You can do basically anything with a map, and because of where it is as well, it's quite well protected from sieges because there's not really any buildings around it. Unless you're looking for sieges, it takes forever to get them. I also like the container fort as well in Cascade. That just feels like the sort of place I'd go to in real life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know how he was there, but that is, and it's also very easily defensible. I think it's 2 entrances. You could block the back with your car,
Yeah.
with a spare car if you wanted to, and just rely on the front one. The only problem with that is it's like right down in the corner of the map. It takes ages.
So hard to get anywhere.
That's the only problem. I think that's probably why. Yeah, I'd say farmland compound is probably the best one.
Yeah, I was curious like what your favorite was, because every base has its pros and cons.
Yeah.
One thing, I don't know if it's from your video or someone, maybe Good Fox or someone I was watching with Container Fort, there's like 10 hidden beds that no one knows about.
Yeah, it's in the workshop, I want to say, because I almost destroyed the workshop because I was going to build a Red Talon one, and then I was like, oh, hang on, that's got 10 beds in it, like. Yeah. And that's more beds than you'll need, because you can only have 10 people anyway. So, unless you got someone who takes up more beds.
So that's interesting you say that. I've gotten up to like, I know I've gotten at least 12 people before.
So 12
is the finale.
12 is the hard. 10 is the soft cap. 12 is the hard cap. Yeah.
It was really weird. I don't know if I was imagining it, and like it's been so long time, and I don't have any footage of it. I could have sworn I got more than 12 at one point because of a glitch. I had like 14.
Cool. Oh wow!
And that was so amazing. And then like, of course, they like died the next game anyway, so it didn't really matter. But I was like, I could have sworn I broke past that limit. And there was one point, there was a mission that was glitching where every time I restarted or something like that, this one mission where you recruit somebody, it was like at a gas station. Petrol station, I guess you could say. And every time I came back in, that mission would come up, and I would recruit that person, and it happened over and over and over again. I recruited them like, okay, and like eventually it stopped, but because of the soft cap. But it was just one of those things where like, oh, if only I had kept going.
Yeah, I mean, I know you can do it like if you got 10, and then you do the builder finale, and then you just basically just accept everybody who comes in. That's, I think, how you get to the hard cap of, like you said, 12. I imagine you'd be able to remove it with mods, but I've never tried it.
Yeah. Well, and I know like the Warlord can give you like 11 if you recruit the person who like betrays the other people or something like that. But nerding out at this point.
Yeah, I never do that because I always end up shooting him. I was like, which part are you on about there? Oh yeah, the guy I always shoot. Oh yeah. That's probably more on me, that one.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's probably better to put it that way. But so if people want to find more about you, where can they find you online?
So YouTube is Jay Talbot, Jay space Talbot. I'm on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. I'm on everything but meth. I'm joking. There's no drug use. No drug use.
He's drunk. He's on meth. That's the thing.
Yeah, basically any of your socials, Jay Talbot. Yeah. Sometimes there might be an underscore there. So how it's nice that works.
You have a good personal brand at the very least, and so like that's the one thing that's like, it's one of the things where people can find you because it's based off your name. I got links in the description to make it easier anyway.
Oh, thank you very much. Appreciate that.
All right, well, this was Dustin, PolyInnovator, and Jay Talbot on the PolyTools Creator Spotlight. Thanks for joining.
Thank you very much.